Welcome to another episode of short videos on summer safety tips with Dr. Dan Remley. Dr. Dan Remley is an associate professor with the Ohio State University Extension Program, Food, Nutrition, and Wellness.
With barbecuing, just a few tips. If you're dealing with frozen meat, pull it out of the freezer. Make sure you thaw it properly. So you don't want to thaw it on the counter. You want to pull it out ahead of time. Put it in your refrigerator. There's some other ways of thawing, but that's kind of the recommendation. Or just throw it right on the grill. You might have to cook it a little bit longer. So secondly, when you're cooking your, especially hamburgers, you want to make sure you cook your meats to the proper temperature. So with a hamburger, you want to cook it to 155 degrees. With chicken, about 165 degrees, a little bit higher there. But purchase a food thermometer that you can use. Make sure you know that your meat's cooked, because if you don't, you run the risk of having a foodborne illness, and that's not much fun in the summertime. When dealing with leftovers, if it's really hot, above 75 degrees or so, you don't want leftovers sitting out too long, less than an hour. If it's a little cooler than that, you can probably afford to have your leftovers, maybe sitting out for less than 2 hours. But that's another way that you can kind of get sick from food if you have those leftovers sitting out, not at room temperature. There's just a few other things too. After you're handling raw meat, make sure you wash your hands. And you don't want to touch other ready-to-eat foods after you've touched like the raw meats. And so raw meat can make you sick as well. So one other thing too is that probably it's not real good to overcook your meat. You don't want to char it, but you do want to cook it to the safe temperature. Charred meat's not as healthy for us, but make sure you do use that thermometer, check the temperature of your meat. 1 out of 4 hamburgers actually turns brown before it reaches that safe temperature, that 155 degrees. So, even it really doesn't help just to look at the color to determine if it's done. You really need to use those food thermometers, and that's a big one as well.